The history and legacy of Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary is truly extraordinary. Since 1908, Southwestern's 45,000 plus graduates have covered the globe so that it really is true. The sun never does set on Southwestern. In fact, the call of the Great Commission has compelled our students to go to the ends of the earth in order to preach the Word and reach the world. Now, you might have heard it said that that's our motto, to preach the Word and reach the Word. In fact, it is, but at Southwestern, it's far more than a motto. That actually is our mission. It's the mission that expresses our identity as Christ followers. As we have received the Great Commission and as it expresses itself here on our campus, in the lives of our students and our faculty and our staff. It's an identity that also brought together 60 Southwestern students in the winter of 1959 to pray. As they sought to pray, they knew God had laid a special idea on their hearts. And as they prayed, it didn't happen exactly like it did in Acts 2, where there were tongues of fire that manifested themselves or miraculous manifestations of languages to be able to share the gospel. But in their hearts, an idea was born, birthed by the Holy Spirit, I believe, where they were called to give up one full week to go preach the gospel in areas outside the Bible Belt. And what started there in the winter of 1959 has grown and continues to this day at Southwestern Seminary, called Revive This Nation. It's a program that we don't have the early statistics of. But since 1965, over 5,000 students have participated, going somewhere in the U.S. We've been to almost all 50 states. Almost 5,000 churches have participated, and over 14,000 people have made a decision for Jesus Christ as a result of this program, birthed out of the volunteer efforts of students. Even though there was no spring break back in Southwestern Seminary in 1959, they volunteered their week and were graciously given the ability to go and preach. As one pastor from West Virginia once said, perhaps this is one of the finest programs to ever come out of our seminaries, Revive This Nation. And he also said it's a case in point of how the investment in the cooperative program brings returns to the local church. And perhaps I'm not going too far to say that there's never been a more critical time for Revive This Nation than now. I know you're familiar with the statistic that says that almost 80% of the churches in our land are either plateaued or declining. And even with our own Southern Baptist denomination, the statistic is not much better. Almost 65% of our churches are either plateaued or declining. In fact, in a recent article in the studies, they're showing that we're seeing a 70-year low in baptisms. We're seeing an almost 20-year low in church attendance. What's the problem with our churches? Why aren't we seeing more people come to faith? Why aren't we seeing more baptisms? Well, perhaps it's because we're not having gospel conversations. Perhaps it's because our people haven't been mobilized in a period of time to be able to go out and actually fulfill the commission that they've been given by Jesus Christ. So I believe it's never been a more critical time for something that's a storied and historic program here, born in the lives and hearts of students, being led by the Holy Spirit in a prayer meeting on their knees, than what we're going to offer in the spring of 2018. Would you be willing, Pastor, to host Revive This Nation in your church? I realize that you can't schedule revival. We can't manipulate God to do something special, but we can seek Him for it. We can ask for it. We can pray for it, and we can make ourselves available for Him to do what only He can do. This is what we mean by setting aside a time for revival. Would you be willing to host one of our young men? No. He might not have ever led a revival before. In fact, he might come and preach his first 5 sermons at your church. I know that sounds scary. Perhaps it might also be scary to think about how to financially afford this. The good news is it's not going to cost you anything other than to put this young man up, provide a place for him to stay, and to feed him. If you even need a skinny preacher, we'll provide one as well. He might eat just a little bit less and save you even more money. Either way, generous donors have provided for this program to be a reality. Are you willing to set aside time for your church to seek the Lord and what He wants to do in your church, in the hearts and lives of your members, and in your community? Would you be willing to make time just to be available for that? I hope you will. And to find out more information, you can get on our website at swbts.edu/RTN. Again, that's swbts.edu/RTN to see how you can sign up, to say you can begin preparing now and your people now for what could be the most exciting and life-changing experiences to be a part of Revive This Nation. We'll send a preacher if you sign up, and then let's give the rest to God to see what He wants to do in such a critical time as this, and ask and pray that truly He bring revival to our nation. Thank you.